Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexiot's here. Saturday morning, and we've got two Raptor games today. One coming up real quick at noon against the Detroit Pistons, and then later on at 7 o'clock, the Raptors 905 are playing the Detroit G League affiliate Motor City. So yeah, got a couple games to preview real quick, and there's not much time because the game will be at noon. So hopefully this stream won't be 2.5 hours. Hopefully we'll get done in time before the game. I am having company coming over, so Stevie Roots and Adriana are coming to watch the game with me today, so that's going to be fun. All right, let's start it off with the injury report real quick for this morning for the Detroit Pistons games for the Raptors. Listen, it's Fred's birthday, guys. Fred VanVleet's birthday is today, and he is already ruled out for today. I'm speculating that once again, this is because of the birth of his third child, and that maybe they need. He just wants to take some time with the very new baby, and his wife being recovering from the pregnancy, and so Fred's not going to be playing today. So we'll see probably the same lineup that we've had for the last game. And I'm going to guess he's going to show up for tomorrow. In some ways, I could see it this way, that he's not playing today because we have a back-to-back. We're playing Cleveland tomorrow at 6 p.m., and he's going to pick one of the games. He's not going to play in both of them just for load management reasons. He might as well take an extended time off on his birthday with his new baby for an extra day, because he probably wouldn't play both today and tomorrow anyway. So take the day off, Fred. It's your birthday, and come back tomorrow and let's beat up on the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell. All right, because you played real well against the Cavs in the past this season, and we would really like you back for tomorrow. So yeah, no Fred today for sure. And then of course Otto is also out as it says, and normally, but those are only injuries. Everybody else should be available. So it'll be a very similar look to the one we had the other night against New Orleans. Detroit has quite a bit of injuries. Of course, Kate Cunningham has been out all season because of his surgery on his lower leg. Jalen Duren got hurt in the last game against us, and he is out for today also, the young rookie. Nerlens Noel will be out today, and Marvin Bagley III will also be out for the Detroit Pistons today. Now, also just some general news and notes. We have the guys down at 905. Our Ron Harper Jr. and Delano Banton will be with the 905. Koloko is still with the Raptors, not with the 905. So he will be available to the Raptors main roster today. There's a bunch of housekeeping with the 905. They did a bunch of moves yesterday. In fact, they traded Reggie Perry yesterday, guys. Reggie goes and represents Team USA down in Argentina for this recent FIBA tournament this week. And, well, he doesn't have to come back to Canada because we traded him. We actually traded him to Windy City Bulls. And now he will be stateside again. But we did get a player in his return. This is per Blake Murphy for RJ Nembhard. He's going to be actually playing in France, RJ Nembhard. So we're not sure if he's actually going to come and play for 905, but we have his rights. And then, Reggie is on Windy City Bulls now. We also traded Aaron Epps to I'm not even sure where they traded him to. So there's been a lot of movement with the 905. They haven't played well recently, so it makes sense. Go ahead and mix it up a little bit and get something hopefully going for Eric Curry's squad down there. So, yeah, they're going to be looking totally different with new players coming and going right now. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments so far this morning. Jimmy Pope's first one in. Pope of Positivity, good morning to you. Good morning, Alexi. Let's get this one game closer to 500. Let's go, baby. 100%. Let's go get that cup. 2023 Toronto Raptors NBA champions. That sounds crazy. Maybe 2 months ago, it sounded really fucking crazy. But in some ways, I'm going to tell you right now, that I may not sound as crazy as you think. 2023 Toronto Raptors NBA champions. Jakob is here, baby. All right. G saying Raptors have the 5th best record in the league since January 23rd. Nets, Heat, Cavs, Wiz all lost last night. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to definitely be watching our games, obviously, but also standings watching or teams around us in the standings. And we will be rooting for enemies just to beat some of the teams that are close to us in the standings. So, yeah, very interesting stuff last night in the NBA, especially with that big, huge, high-scoring game out in LA with the Kings and the Clippers. Very, very crazy game. And Tony Brothers, once again, our referees being a factor in games and stuff. Yeah, all right. Mike's here. Salute the real ones. Project Truth always. Good morning, Mike. Logical Raptors fanatic in the house. Check out Logical Raptors fanatics YouTube channel. Very factual, actual, lots of stats, lots of number crunching. He will tell you exactly where our salary cap is. He will show us the way this summer to use the luxury tax and to re-sign everybody. Yeah. Monique is here. Good to see superfan Monique Lawrence. First thing in the morning. That's right. Top of the morning to you, Monique. Good morning, everyone, and a happy game day. Let's keep streaking. It better not be a close game again. Let's just win. I love that, Monique. And you're right. Listen, when we played Detroit just before the All-Star break, that game was very close. It was only like a couple of points, right? The ending. Well, I want to improve on that. Why don't we go out there and smack the shit out of Dwayne Casey's team today and get a real good lead and show that we progressed even from the second game of just having Poeltl back? Well, we've gotten even better 3 games later, and let's show that tonight. Today, I guess I can keep saying today. I mean, it's today. It's not tonight. Yeah. I like this. I like this idea, Monique. Let's jump out on them early. Let's get a good lead and hold it for the whole game. No stress today, baby. Let's just go down there. Hopefully, we got a good crew of Raptor freaks going to the arena, because I know that MLSC's got some buses going down there with some fans already. And then, hopefully other people are getting up early, making that drive, even with the crappy weather, and getting across that border to take over Toronto Home Arena B. We need to have that nice contingency of Raptors fans in that arena, just like we did the last time we played them in Detroit. Yeah, so get down there, guys. Drive safe. Get across that border, and let's overtake their building once again. Yeah, I think this is part of the reason why they put this game at noon. Let's make it harder for the Canadians to jump across the border and come and infiltrate our building. Sound strategy, but we get up early. Don't worry, we'll be there. Yeah, we'll be there. Shere Khan saying, nice to see Raps stopping late run by New Orleans and getting the win. I anticipate this becoming a trend and Raptors winning close games for sure. Let's get these 2 wins on the road. Let's go Raps. Yeah, you go, Shere Khan. I saw you in the chat yesterday for Open Gym and also for like Raptors Tonight and all these different stuff going up recently. You're a great fan, Shere Khan, and keep spreading your message of positivity. I really do appreciate it because I see you, man. I see you in other places doing it. Jim saying, G saying open gym was so good. I anticipated that this open gym this week was going to be very, very good. I had a feeling, and I didn't know why, but I found out why when I watched it last night. What an amazing episode. This is a top 10 episode of all time to me in my book, because it encapsulates the story of Jakob returning. You get the great feelings and the great behind the scenes footage of Jakob coming back, whether it's like reintroducing himself to the team and the people around. They're like, oh, we know you. And then him talking about like being back and how weird it is. And then all the candid stuff, like the stuff with him and Siakam's just like so happy that he's back and we're winning. And then like I noticed that he plays Uno. Yeah, he had Uno cards at his hotel room. All that fun stuff with Jakob. But forget about that. The most amazing. Then you got all the Scottie stuff in the middle. You got this amazing, like Scottie's trip to Utah for the Rising Stars game, all that behind the scenes stuff with him in his hotel, talking about the weekend and just being who he is. And then the stuff with him and Masai interacting, hilarious. You see Masai taking Scottie's SB chain and like, this is heavy. Can I have this? I want to wear this for a while. And Scottie's like, no. And then like when they're done talking, Scottie goes, I love you. And Masai says, I love you too. And I'm like, yeah, this is what we want, Raptors content. This is what we want to see, the love and the family between Masai Ujiri and Scottie Barnes. And it was just so fun. And then obviously, okay, next we got Pascal's experience of being there and like him being introducing Burna Boy and the whole All-Star weekend and everything like that. And then there's this really fun moment where Masai's like, hey, Pascal, come here. I want to introduce you to Tim's. I'm like, what? This is crazy. It's like it was so fun to watch the behind the scenes stuff, of course. But then the cherry on top, oh my gosh. And honestly, I teared up. And I saw that man tearing up too on the camera from when you saw these points. When they showed DeMar, oh my gosh. Damn. I still feel a whole lot of pain from DeMar leaving and seeing him on Open Gym last night, man. Whew. he said he still watches Open Gym. And then he did this whole cool thing where he's like, you guys got to show the flashback of me and Pascal playing together. And they did it. They threw it all together and it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, DeMar. Ah, DeMar, 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 DeMar. Ah, man. That dude's a real one, man. Ah, hang on, hang on. That dude is such a real one, man. It's sad to me, man, because he loved being on Open Gym. He loved it, and it was just so cool to see him on Open Gym again. The fun with him and Pascal, and just him saying, "It's like this is what y'all should do." Cut in like clips of us playing together when he was younger and stuff. But everything with DeMar on that episode, man, it tugged my heartstrings so bad, man. Listen, I have all the respect in the world for Mr. DeMar DeRozan, and man, putting him in Open Gym just tears me up, man. It just does. I'm sorry. All right. Let me get back to business. All right, I got to get back in order. Whoo. That's right. Raptorsfreak does feel it for DeMar DeRozan. That's for sure. All right, let me keep looking at y'all's comments. But definitely check out that Open Gym. Oh my gosh, so power packed for a half an hour of content. There is so much in it, whether it's the Scottie stuff, the Jakob stuff, the Pascal stuff, the Masai stuff, the DeMar stuff. There's so much stuff in that Open Gym. It's the inside stuff, baby. Yeah. So good. Greg is saying, yeah, Open Gym was super fun. So good. And man, DeMar. All right, Monique's saying too good of an episode of Open Gym. Thank you, Reggie Perry. We appreciate you. Yeah, 2 years of Reggie Perry. And in some ways, I understand why they moved him. Listen, he should go back home. He's a Thomasville boy. He's from down south. I know. I'm from that area down there too. And listen, he needs to be back in the States at this point. He's representing the United States right now in Argentina. And, just go back to Windy City. We love you, Reggie Perry, and thank you for being with 905. But the time has changed. And honestly, he hasn't been playing very well recently. So this doesn't really upset me at all. Let's see. Mike's saying that classic footage was DeRozan and Spicy plugging Open Gym hard, but it was all truth. Best YouTube show. No offense to anyone else. Yeah, that's what DeMar said. I still watch it, and I can see why he would watch it because he loves those guys, and he knows that experience from being on that show for so many seasons. I mean, seriously, that show started basically when he showed up. They showed the clips of DeMar coming in, baby DeMar. And you're just like, holy crap. You realize how much it was a video diary of his career and why he would be so into that show and love it. Because now he can go back and he could catch an episode of Open Gym and just check in with the Raptors and see where his friends, Pascal and Fred and OG and all those guys are doing. And I can totally understand why he watches it and he loves that show. And then Pascal sings the best show on YouTube, of course. What a ringing endorsement. And they knocked it out of the park. That episode was so good. And DeMar's like, you guys have to have this ready by Monday or Tuesday. He's like, no, we got till Friday. Oh, well, you can get this done for sure then. Hilarious. So good. You can just tell DeMar DeRozan really knows the Open Gym guys really well. And that he's totally a willing participant to be on that show. And oh man, I just loved it. It was so good. Trevor's saying we're gonna beat 2 Detroit teams today. I love what Trevor's saying. I agree. Listen, we got to continue what we've been doing, play big bully ball and be the big team on the court. It's like no beef and livers show today. No, we ain't gonna have no beef and livers show with beef stew and livers doing nothing down low. No, we got to dominate. We got big yak. And we got to come in there and we got to swallow up all the rebounds and just be that bully ball team. If they want to play somebody small on our center, we need to club them over the head with Poeltl and just say, you better bring the right kind of body to body up with Poeltl because we will use the big man on you like people have used against us all year. Well, it's our time to shine because we've got the Jakob Sunshine and we're ready to utilize the big body of Poeltl in the paint to do good things for us. So that's what I'm saying. Let's dominate Casey's team down low. Get those rebounds, points in the paint, just like last game, outscoring the last team, the New Orleans Pelicans and Jonas Valanciunas by 20 points in the paint. Let's get some more results like that, Raptors. Down low is the place to go. Now, if you can get those outside shots going, Gary Trent Jr. and Pascal Siakam, Scottie Barnes, and OG Anunoby, you go ahead, but let's mix it up. Let's put some of that down low going with the Scottie Barnes down low, Poeltl down low. Of course, Pascal Siakam all over the place. And let's just really tear them up. This is Detroit. They've lost a lot of games, and they shouldn't be losing to us today. We need to sweep them this year. They beat us last year. It's like every other year, one team sweeps the other. Well, this is our year to sweep Detroit, and we need to continue that with the third game of the season against them. And then we play them one more time back here in Toronto later in March. So, yeah, we got to continue to defeat Detroit. And I'm all about that. Yeah, Jimmy Pope saying that Debo and Pascal moment was goated. It really was. I mean, seriously, once I saw DeMar, you saw the tears in his eyes. There's a lot of emotion in there. And you know what? It's not only just beyond on Open Gym. You heard what he said about Jakob coming back here. Because, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, that trade for Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, that was traumatizing for both Jakob Poeltl and DeMar DeRozan. That both of them felt it real strong. And when he saw Jakob return here, listen, DeMar is not a hater. He's not the kind of person who would be like, damn, I wish it was me. No, he felt real good for Jakob because in some ways that kind of healed something that hurt them both at the same time. They were ripped apart. It was the very same time the trauma happened. DeMar did not like leaving here. We did him wrong, and it hurt. So him seeing Jakob come back here and him talking about it, on Open Gym was powerful to me because in some ways there's some healing, there's some closure, and there's some kind of like, wow, he could come back, that you can come back, and Jakob did. And, it doesn't mean that DeMar wants to do the same thing because he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't. And it's just not the path to come back for him. But that spoke a lot to me about the pain in the moment of the Kawhi Leonard trade. And how these guys, the fallout with them emotionally, seeing DeMar talk about it, you could tell there's a lot of powerful emotion behind seeing Jakob Poeltl back in a Raptors jersey. So, yeah, wow. Yeah, G said when Jakob introduced himself, he said, I'm Jakob and I'm from Toronto. There were a lot of really cool tells like that. He said he's from Toronto. He's like, I think everybody here knows me. I was like, well, Scottie's over there. Do you know Scottie yet? That's Scottie. Hi, this is Scottie. This is Jakob. But yeah, it was really funny when he was introducing himself back and he said that. There were a lot of things like that were really interesting. I mean, there's one that really bugged me too. It's like after the game where Jakob went crazy, Fred's saying stuff like, you're going for that max money. That's just feeding into this bullshit about you right now, Fred. And this isn't good. I know you're like caught off guard and you're just on camera, but man, we don't want to see this money side of you right now because you're getting really tarnished in certain ways about being a greedy person. And when you're seen on Open Gym telling Jakob Poeltl he's going for max money because he had a huge game, it starts to make us think, wow, maybe he is kind of like this guy. I don't want to think that. I'll just say that was just you getting caught on camera saying something like that. But if you're always thinking about money, Fred, then I'm worried about this summer. And you know what? I just got to let it go the way it's going to go and trust in Masai. That if it's in the plans to keep Fred VanVleet, well, that's great. But if it isn't, and it is how it's supposed to be, well, then that's so be it. That it would be how it is. So, yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself and slander him or get after him or anything, but we just have to see how this goes. I really do hope he just takes his player option, doesn't take his player option, that he just stays on his contract right now. But we'll have to see. Let's see. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor-Free crew. Excited for today's game. Sending best wishes to Fred on his birthday. Yeah, I hope he has a fantastic birthday, especially if he's got a little baby and they're able to celebrate and have a good time. This baby's got a birthday very close to yours, Fred. Very, very interesting. What are you guys, Pisces? Is this Pisces season? I'm trying to remember. Is this the end of Pisces? I don't remember which season it is. I'm sure somebody can tell me in the comments. Sheer Khan saying, real emotions, Lex. Love the passion. The Raptors pulling out the best memories. I still miss those playoff teams before the chip. They could have been to the finals if a few dominoes had fell our way. Kalo and Debo. Yeah, totally, Sheer Khan. And I apologize. I get emotional about the Raptors, especially DeMar DeRozan. And I wasn't ready to see him like that in that Open Gym episode from last night. I really wasn't. And if that doesn't tug at your heartstrings just a little bit as a Raptors fan, well, you need to go back, or you're just a new fan that you just don't understand the history with this man. Because, like, yeah, you need to go back and watch and see, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Monique's saying that segment of Debo and Pascal was golden. It was so golden. I want DeMar to come and be the director of Open Gym more often. It's like we should just have him be the host, like Alfred Hitchcock, and he'll come out and he'll tell this. These are more stories of the Raptors' history. And then they come in. I don't know. He needs to be a host for that or something because he's good at it. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. Let's go. One more win towards the playoffs and winning culture. Let's go and have a great day, everybody. Let's go. Yeah, you go too, Bradley. I hope you're safe if you're working today. If not, hopefully you get to watch the game today. And yeah, let's get back to 500. If we can win today and tomorrow, we're at 500, baby. So, but we got to take care of business. First, get this W today, and then tomorrow, Cleveland, a great test. Hopefully, we can beat them also, and then we'll have a 500 record by Sunday night. And that's what I'd like to see. Nameless has got the sweeping out, and he's got these horses, these wild horses. Those are Pistons. Is that what that is? That sweep the Pistons today? Sweep those little Pistons out of the way. Joseph Starks is here. Good to see Joseph Starks from the West Coast holding it down. Hello, everyone. I missed you all. I took the paper bag off my face. Boy, have we turned it around. Our fan base is truly a great team. You know what? Listen, Joseph, we're so glad you're back. I know the vibes are back and strong and feeling good. It's fun to be a Raptors fan all of a sudden. And you feel optimism. You feel like, wow, I can't wait for the next game. The games are fun to watch. There's just so much good about it again. Very different than how it was a couple months ago. And we're happy to see you back, Joseph. I know, sometimes if the Raptors are losing, people don't want to, they're busy people with their lives. You don't want to put so much investment of your time in watching them and following them. But I know you were following them. But now that it's exciting again, I'm so glad you're back, Joseph. This is awesome. MSJ saying, hello, all. So liking the positive Nick Nurse, Jeff Dowtin talk. Yeah. Listen, what he said about Jeff after the game is basically like he's been solid this whole year. I've been really liking everything he's done this whole year. And I can trust him is basically what Nick said about Jeff Dowtin Jr. And that's pretty accurate. Consistent. You can trust him. He's steady. Yeah, that's all that kind of stuff you like. And he's the most prototypical backup point guard on a roster at this point. So in some ways, that's very valuable itself. Mike is saying it was a value props from Fred VanVleet. Poeltl is showing his value. And he's signaling to all the young guys in the room how you make value being solid and effective. Okay, I like how Mike's portraying this. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just that if he's going to have one line in the show, I wish it wasn't that. If he's going to have one line in this whole entire show, just because of the issues with Fred right now in our fan nation or our nation, is there's a lot of people that are very anti-Fred. And that is just going to pour gas on the fire, seeing him make a comment like that in the middle of the show, especially when everybody thinks he's greedy. Is really, really not a good look. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I had the same reaction for DeMar. It's just so, like, seriously, if you have a heart and you're a Raptor fan and you watch that Open Gym and you see the glassy tears in his eyes, like you could tell he was very emotional about everything interacting with the Raptors Open Gym show. Really, really, yeah. I hope we gave him a ring for the chip, the vet, and the rookie forever. Raptors, we the North. Yeah, such a beautiful, like, I'm watching those clips. And, of course, they show DeMar's amazing dunk where he ran and just jammed it on people. And they show the bench and, all the interaction between him and young Pascal and the passing. Oh, my gosh, Open Gym, such a treat. And thank you from my heart and other Raptor freaks like Cool Cat's heart. And just thank you to DeMar, and DeMar thanks you too. I'm sure he'll see this episode and be like, they did what they did what I asked them to, and they did it just exactly how they should have done it. He's going to think that, yeah. Guardian Transit saying much more fun when we're playing solid basketball and winning. Oh yeah, let's go Raptors. That's right, Guardian Transit. Let's get down to Detroit right now. Let's get across that border. Let's hope Customs ain't got no rear backlog. People are waiting. We're waiting in Customs because it's taking so damn long. No, get across that border and get across there to Detroit and get to that game, Raptor fans. We need to take over the building. It's a siege. Let's siege them. Yes. Let's see. Shir Khan saying, I don't mind Fred's get the max. It is a business. We, the fans in Toronto, know this and have learned to love the team and understand that players will do what's best for their family. Hope he stays, though. Yeah. I mean, listen, like I said, it's really just a bad look with the climate around Fred right now in some ways. I just wish that they hadn't left that in open gym. You could have showed a different clip. We don't need to see Fred like that right now. But yeah, a lot of people will be like, yeah, well, he's got to get the money. But still, it's not good. Canadians saying two more things. Congrats to Freddie and call Nurse and tell him we don't hear the haters and keep it a good job. Let's go. Later, y'all. All right, Bradley, I'm not going to call Nick with like less than 3 hours before game time because he's very busy right now preparing. So I'm not going to call Nick Nurse right now. I call him in reaction afterwards. But yeah, happy birthday to Fred. It's your birthday. You have a new child, apparently. And, what's not to like? Your team's back on it and getting back into it. And you don't even have to play. You got your team coming and going to kick some ass. That's right. Yeah, I'm interested in that. All right, let's see. Shane Waters is saying, good morning, freaks. Great day for a day game. Be even better when we cease those Pistons up. Yes, Lex, Fred is a Pisces, much like myself. All right, Shane Waters is a Pisces, so his birthday's right around now, too. Well, happy early birthday or happy birthday if we just passed it, Shane. Okay, so it is Pisces season. That's what I thought. Monique St. Bell just posted a 10-year anniversary on their IG. Okay, for Open Gym. That's really good. Nameless saying this is like a tailgating stream this morning. This is a little bit like that, Nameless. That's what I was hoping to do. That's why I wrote in instead of pregame show. Because it really is like a pregame show. Because I could go right up until the game starts, apparently. Let's see. Mike's saying if Scottie played like Poeltl in that game, he's definitely getting a max. For another guy to understand playing your role, being efficient in your spots and solid defensively and on point with the game plan. I see what you're saying, Mike. It's basically like Fred is saying, listen, that is the kind of performance that will get you max money for you, Scottie Precious. You guys want to see? Do what Jakob's doing. And you can expect to get that big payday down the road. I get what you're saying, Mike. Greg's saying tonight we are all fans of the Pelicans, Magic, Hornets, and if you can stomach it, even the Celtics. The first 3 games have big implications for us. I think all these games are going to be very important and having implications in all kinds of different places each night for a while. And I'm excited about it. We're just going to have to see how it all goes. Like I said, I think our elevator's on the way up. And then some of these Eastern teams, their elevator's on the way down. New Jersey Nets. Ooh, I said New Jersey. I mean Brooklyn. Yeah, some of these teams are on their way down. Daddy Gates is here. Oh, yes, the game is at noon today. Thanks for reminding me. Hey, if anything I did right, I reminded Daddy Gates the game is at noon today. All right, speaking on that, let's go ahead and look at the referees for both games today. Starting with 9:05. They're at 7 o'clock, guys, so we can watch both games. So we'll see the 9:05 later. Raptors 9:05 at Motor City's referees are the crew chief is Tyler Ricks. The referee is Hortensia Sanchez Carrizales, and Ian McClenny is the umpire. Now, our ref report for our Raptors game at noon, our crew chief is Sean Wright. Sean Wright is from New York. He now lives in Dacula, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. His favorite TV show is Dun 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 Dun. Bam, 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 bam. Law and Order. Just regular old school Law and Order. Not any of the SVU, SUV, or whatever. His favorite movie is Love Jones. His favorite musician is you beat it, no one has to be defeated. Michael Jackson, his favorite book is Crime and Punishment. His favorite app is his son's football team's app. He would most like to visit Greece. His bucket list is to fly a plane. He's very good at chess. And he would like some roasted chicken and veggies this morning. That is his favorite meal, Sean Wright. He is refereed in the SEC, the Colonial League, the conference, Big South Conference, Southern Conference, Ohio Valley, Atlantic Sun, and Southwestern Athletic Conferences. He's also refereed in the NCAA Division II tournament in 2004. So, yeah, Sean Wright is not a horrible ref for us. We win 57% of the time when he referees. We did lose the last game he reffed this season. And the Pistons win 42%. So the split for Sean Wright, our crew chief today, is 57-42 for the Raptors. That's not bad. Second ref is JB DeRosa. We just saw JB like a week or so ago. So he's been with us very recently as a ref. He's from Paducah, Kentucky. He now resides where the Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, Ohio. His favorite TV show is I'm not even going to sing the theme song. He just Bazinga, The Big Bang Theory. His favorite movie is the Kingsman series. His favorite musician is Kenny Chesney. He'd most like to visit the British Virgin Islands. He'd like to play golf at Pebble Beach. And his hidden talent, he's a good cook. He is the son of Joe DeRosa, who was a former NBA official. So he is a Nepo baby ref who is following the footsteps of his father. His meal is going to be salmon and risotto. So we've got some pretty classy dishes here so far. Roasted chicken veggies and salmon risotto. That's pretty fine dining, Greg. I would say from the Jubstown Clank, if you're getting it together, that's fine dining. This isn't no tater tots and hot dogs. No, those are good dishes. JB DeRosa, we win 55% of the time when he referees. We lost the last game he ref, which I think was the Utah game. Honestly, that one we just lost recently. But Detroit wins 61% of the time with JB DeRosa. So he's actually very kind to the Pistons, which is very interesting to me since he's only been a ref for like 7 years, and the Pistons haven't been the best in the last 7 years. But they favored with JB DeRosa, 56 for Raptors, 61 for Detroit. So he actually favors the Pistons. The last ref is John Butler. He's the youngest ref. He's in his 5th season. He is from Biloxi, Mississippi. He now lives in Phoenix, Arizona. His favorite TV show is Suits. His favorite movie is the great Spike Lee joint, Do the Right Thing. His favorite musician is Jay-Z. His favorite book is The Four Agreements. His favorite app is the Bible. He most like to visit Italy and Greece. John Butler is a younger ref, of course, and his interests include traveling, visiting museums, reading, cooking, fitness, video games, collecting sneakers, movies, music, and sports. And he would like red beans and rice for his meal. Okay, so John Butler is one of the worst refs for us statistically. He's in the bottom 5 of refs in the whole entire league for us. We only win 38% of the time when he's refereeing, but we did win the last game he refed. And the Pistons are even worse. They actually win only 20% of their games when John Butler's available to ref. So that's 38-20, the split for the Raptors. But neither one of those teams are winning that much. So overall, the ref crew favors the Raptors with the crew chief Sean Wright and John Butler. And JB DeRosa slightly favors the Pistons. So there's your ref crew. So we need to get some roasted chicken and veggies, some salmon and risotto, and some red beans and rice. And that's what we got for the menu today, Tom Duke. You get that ready for those refs, and hopefully that we feed them right and they'll be happy, and then everything will be good. Shir Khan saying, been hearing a lot of Jeff praise lately. Nick likes him too. If we do get to sign him for the rest of the year, who do we let go? Not going to be Joe because Raps are big on him. Maybe Wancho or Delano. Well, this is the thing, Shir Khan. Basically, all we have to do is convert him to a full contract, and we can do that. There's no problem. I don't know if we have to actually let anybody go. It's just about giving them a new contract and saying this, you're not on a two-way anymore, because two-ways aren't allowed to play in the playoffs. And I'm going to say something right now. You guys can go look at the receipts. At the beginning of the year, I said this even before the season started. Jeff Dowtin's going to be playing in the playoffs for us, even though he's on a two-way. I predicted this a long time ago, that he's going to do so well and he's going to look just right, that we're going to have him in the playoffs on our playoff roster. And we will convert him on the two-way. It's just very similar to something like what we did with Utah a couple of years ago. Is like we converted him from a two-way into being like a full roster guy. And I could see us doing that, but I don't know exactly when we have to do it. Mike's probably going to know more about the details of how this would work and stuff. But I think it's just basically redoing his contract and getting him off a two-way and saying, yeah, we're putting you down for more money. And then we can have him eligible to play in the playoffs for us, because as it is, two-ways cannot play for you in the playoffs. They're only during the season. So it's going to be like, well, does Nick want Jeff Dowtin to be possibly a weapon he uses in the playoffs? Well, they got to convert him from a two-way to a regular contract. And that'll be the process. I don't think they actually have to cut anyone, though. It's not like that. Cool Cat saying, Fred has always stated he is a businessman, Money matters. I want Kyle and DeMar to retire as Raptors. Good to see fans apologizing to Masai. Dowtin Jr. will be converted for playoffs. See, Cool Cat predicts this in her comment for sure. Yeah, well, they're apologizing to Masai because they realize Jakob is so good and they shouldn't have doubted him at the trade deadline. That's for sure. Yeah, I know, Fred, it does matter. The money does matter. I just don't want it to matter right now. And honestly, they don't need to be talking about this stuff until the offseason. But everybody's going to bring it up over and over again in relation to him. It sucks. They're not necessarily talking about it the same way with Gary Trent. Logical saying, I delayed my drop today for the game. It's 2:30 and money is too tight, but the G League 50 game limit is lifted soonish. So he should be able to play enough without converting, but no playoffs. Okay, so this is Mike's expert knowledge of this situation because he understands the rules and he understands what's possible. He's saying basically he'll be able to play the rest of the season, but he's not going to be allowed to play the playoffs for us. Well, maybe we can get away with that. We'll have to see. Nameless is saying on August 16th, 1812, General William Hull surrendered Fort Detroit and 2,500 men to Canada, and it was a shocking and humiliating loss for the Americans. He's alluding to the War of 1812 and with some of the events that happened around that time with the war between, Canada and the U.S. And that, I believe we had, I don't know which side was on which side. I don't know the details enough, but this is true that, even at our Fort York here in Toronto, we fought Americans off here in our city from taking Toronto at Fort York. And we were very successful. In fact, in this conflict, the Canadian side actually marched all the way to Washington, D.C. and burned down the White House. This is something they don't like talking about on American history too much, that in the War of 1812, we kind of kicked their ass. And this is something that Nameless has brought up as far as General William Hull in Fort Detroit from August 16th of 1812. Good stuff. And I love the context, Nameless, and I love what it means and what you're saying about today. Let's do a little bit of a more friendly, no bloodshed takeover of Detroit today. Yeah, I love it. Monique is saying that deep dive interview on Scottie Barnes. Way to go, Brian Macon. Keep being you, Scottie. All right, I haven't watched the CJ Miles Ahmed Man interview with Brian Macon yet, but if it's good and it's all kinds of cool stuff about Scottie, that's great. Scottie's been funny in the last couple of days. He posted a little picture of him and his dog at midnight after the game on Thursday night. And then yesterday, just in the middle of the afternoon, he just posts a picture of Jakob Poeltl when he was very, very young on the Raptors in his first 2 years. And it really is him showing that he really respects and loves this guy and he likes him because he's putting him on blast on his Instagram. It's so weird. It's just out of the blue. It's like, okay, Scottie's just posting a picture of young Jakob. Hey, it's all good. We get the message, Scottie. We know what you're saying. Jakob is here, and you're very happy. We like it. Yeah, I love it. Tom Duke has got the food out for the guys, for the refs. Let's see what he's got in the emoticons. He's got a chicken and a spicy pepper and a corn and a carrot and a mushroom. So that looks like the chicken and veggies for Sean Wright. And then he's got some fire. Then there's the plate. There's a fish. And then there's the rice. So that's like the salmon risotto for JB DeRosa. And then there's the red beans and rice also. Good jobs. Please sauce it all up, Gubs. Listen, don't put any red sauce on it, though, Greg. We don't know none of that red sauce. No, we don't. Put it up with that good, maybe Alfredo or something. I don't know what you would put on each one of those dishes. A risotto and salmon. I don't know. You're the chef. You take care of it. Let's see. Greg's saying, I'll make DeRosa his precious salmon and risotto. I should say that like Greg is saying this with derision. Yeah, I'll make DeRosa his precious salmon and risotto. He has terrible taste in movies. Kingsman was entertaining for sure, but your favorite? It's funny. Greg is just like a chef. It's like he's probably in the kitchen. He's like, Kingsman, what a shit movie. I have a whole lot of problems respecting JB DeRosa at this point. Perhaps he didn't get to watch movies growing up for some reason. Oh, that's a hilarious burn. Oh, my gosh. Jubstown Clink. Good stuff, Greg. I love it. G saying Kyle made it a habit to want to get his players paid. Yeah, I know this is part of it, too, with the Fred thing, too. Is it's like he's trying to help Jakob get a big payday. But listen, don't make it hard for Bobby and Masai to retain everybody this summer, Fred. Come on. Let's all work together. We want to keep the band together. And, we will pay you all, but it's like within reason. Tom Duke saying no problem with Fred VanVleet's compliment to Yak. I hope they all play like max players. Yeah, all right. I'm glad you guys don't have as much a problem with it as I did. It just rang an alarm in my head. Holy shit! Don't do that, Fred. And in some reason, it's for me, it's really because of all the noise and the idiots that hate him. That they could go and look at this and they'll be like, "Yeah, see, he only cares about the money." And like all the Fred haters, they're going to be pointing to that. They will. Fiercely saying, "Good morning, fam. Looking forward to another dub today. Open Gym was indeed very good. Yeah, it was one of the best episodes ever. It really, really was, Fiercely. And like I said, I teared up at the DeMar DeRozan part. It really made me feel real emotional. Logical saying, we would need to waive someone, and right now the only waive guy like that is Bo Cruz, but converting Dowtin adds more money to the bottom line over luxury, I believe. So yeah, that's what really matters here. Okay, so it's not likely. It's not likely, but they definitely would if they could. I bet they would if it made sense. It didn't take too much money or something like that. I'll bet you they would like to have Jeff Dowtin Jr. available for the playoff run this year. Yeah, I would too. I would myself. Oh my gosh, I would. Yeah, I would. All right, let me see. Let's do the real mascot matchup. Why not? The last time we saw the Raptor mascot, he's at Subway and he's just gotten peppercorn Pelican Bowlway. Yeah, he's got Bowlway that has pelican meat in it. They were out of chicken at this location and they only had pelican meat. So he's eating it. And it's like the peppercorn taste on the pelican. It's like it actually tastes real good. It tastes just like chicken. Just like they always say, stuff tastes like chicken. Well, the pelican tastes like chicken. And it's not gross. It's not like dirty, messed up meat like pigeon meat might be. It's actually like not bad. And he's like, this is actually really good. And I'm feeling stronger from the Pelican Bowlway. And oh man, I feel like I feel really invigorated. Like I want to go and capture the world or just do like big things and get out there and do some stuff. And so he's like leaving the Bowlway subway, and he's like getting back in his rocket car that he took. And he's driving down the road again. And he's like feeling real good. He's like, man, that Pelican Bowlway really, really did make me feel energized and feel real good. And he's at the light. And guess who pulls up next to the light next to him? Once again, it's that hot rod with all the big engine, with the big like stuff sticking out of it. It's a very much a long, funny car dragster. And he's got this rocket car like Evel Knievel. And they're at the light. Of course, he's going to race that Pistons hot rod once again. And we'll have to see if he can, not get pulled over this time, or maybe he can beat him. I don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to actually race him? But they're next to him. They want to race again. They want round 2. So we'll have to see what's going to happen in the next drag race between the Raptor and that Piston hot rod today on the Real Mascot matchup. And we'll find out next time from the cliffhanger what happens with the race. And hopefully there's no craziness, like a police officer pulling somebody over and getting in trouble or anything like that. There you go. Real mascot matchup. There you go. That's it. Let's see. Monica's saying, Real Sports is officially selling the iconic Chris Boucher shirt now. Knew it was coming, Lex. Go. Beck's best dunk of the season. Man, oh, man. Listen, there's some more fallout from this dunk that I think we should all know. Not only is that shirt made, and it's a fantastic shirt, and it's so smart for them to capitalize on it and get that out there because it is an iconic moment, because some people are speculating that dunk that Chris made in the last game may be the record for the furthest dunk that anybody's dunked in an NBA game. I don't know for sure. Some people have said that recently on Sportsnet in different places. And I tried to do some research on this to try and find out what the record is and who they're saying it has, but I couldn't find anything distinctively saying that these are the measurements and this is what this and this, so I can't compare them. But there is some speculation that some people are saying that that is the furthest away from the basket that somebody has dunked in an NBA game. Now, during the dunk competition, somebody may have jumped from further, but not in a regulation game while they're playing. And that's the interesting thing. So Chris might have broken an NBA record in that game. We don't even know it. And they may not put it on blast, obviously, because it's us once again. So very, very interesting aspect of that dunk is he may have broken an NBA record when he did it. And that's very cool to me. Very, very cool to me. Let's see. Kareem Thomas is here. Always good to see my good friend Kareem Thomas. Such a wholesome moment when Masai and Scottie talking about the chain. The best thing is they end their combo with "I love you." Masai is really the dad and the big brother to the Raptors players. It's so true. So true. And I love seeing that. Like, honestly, Scottie is really Raptors family. I mean, seriously, he's bought in. He really is. Like every time I see him, like on Twitch or some places, he's always big up in us and respecting us. And like I said, this is one thing that is different than him from a lot of NBA players from the States is that he doesn't see a difference between the United States and Canada. He knows technically that they're different countries, but in a lot of ways, Scottie has this worldview that everybody is a human and that they all deserve respect and love, and he's not like discriminatory in that way. Well, that carries over to nationalism. That he's not like, I'm so patriotic US that I can't like love and be a part of Canada also. And I think that that's part of the problem with a lot of guys is that I know growing up in the States and saying the Pledge of Allegiance to United States of America every morning in school in Florida, that they program you to be patriotic and be a little xenophobic and a little bit like it's us against everybody. USA number one. USA is the best. Well, Scottie didn't buy into that shit. He really, really didn't. He sees us as being very much the same. Like it might as well be like Canada is another state in the country of the United States. He doesn't really see it as a separation. Sure, there's different money, there's different stuff in some ways, but overall, it's not. He doesn't separate it that way. I really have realized this about his brain. Is I figured it out last year in Twitch, but it's over and over again, just re-endorsed. That's how he feels about Canada versus USA. So it's very interesting. And once again, he takes breaks and he stays here quite often. Last summer, if you look at a percentage of time that he was in Toronto versus Florida or other places, he was in Toronto the higher percentage of last summer than anywhere else. He was here in Canada, in Toronto, with his off time for the most of the time. And I know that's partly because he's hardworking. He loves the OVO Center, and he probably wanted to be close to it and continue to work really hard there all summer. But yeah, this is interesting things about Scottie and how he views Canada and Toronto. Not like some other people. He's definitely not like Antonio Davis. That's for sure. All right, let's see. Nameless saying, it's not bad, like pigeon meat. Listen, if they had that Pigeon Bowl way, you don't know what those dirty birds have been doing in the city. The city's dirty, and those are dirty city birds. You know, a pigeon in the wild, you could probably eat that because it's not far from a quail or a thrasher or something like that. But if you get a pigeon from the city, yeah, look out. You don't know what it's been doing. You don't know where it's been in the city. Yeah, but if it's out in the wild, that's natural. You can eat a natural pigeon, but no city pigeon. That's what there's rules to eating pigeons, y'all. Just so you know. All right, let's see. Mike's saying the long-term injury relief is the X factor in a sense. I haven't researched it yet. I'm thinking that it was used for Joe. I have to look at it deeper. Could happen still, though. Project Truth always. You're talking about the money we got for Otto because Otto got hurt and they gave us $3 million. Well, weren't you guys saying that will go into the cap for the summer when they try and re-sign these guys? That we have an extra $3 million because Otto Porter had season-ending surgery and wasn't available to us, that they gave us this emergency fund. That's what I heard. I thought that's what you said, Mike, on your drop. Maybe that's not exactly what you're talking about right there. Let Me Cook is here. Good to see. Let me see what Let Me Cook's saying. The passion you showed about talking about DeMar was incredible. It has a great feel and shows how much you love the Raptors. Can I clip the part where you got emotional and send a House of Highlights? Sure. Listen, I'm not proprietary here. I really do look at this like hip hop. Like my clips and my audio and all my stuff is to be sampled, just like somebody would do in like songs and doing stuff like that. I have no problem with it. I look at it as any exposure is good exposure. Even if I got emotional, I look real crazy and weird, I don't care. I'm unapologetically me, and I'm in my 40s now. I don't give a shit what other people think about me. So, if I was younger, I was like more insecure. I'm like, I don't want people to see me crying. No, I don't give a shit. You go right ahead. Let me cook. Let me cook at House of Highlights with the real raw emotion I felt for DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, you got full green light on that. Eric Jakob is saying, I think John Wall would be better than Dowtin and Flynn. If we're really going for it, can't we go after him? And also Ibaka, so Poeltl can have a rest. Ibaka also gives us another third option, 3-point option. Eric Jacob, good to see you, man. It's been a little bit. One of the original Raptor freaks was here with me at the very beginning, and this man is over in Africa from the last time I talked to him. Very good to see you. This is interesting, but this is like, I think this is pie in the sky kind of thinking that it's just not realistic. I mean, John Wall, I don't know what that would demand. And once again, we just talked to Mike, a logical Raptors fanatic, about the feasibility of converting Jeff Dowtin Jr. from a two-way to a regular contract. And that's not even easy to do. So let alone bringing in a new body and shifting guys out, we'd have to cut guys, first of all, because we don't have any open roster spots to do any of this. And I don't like John Wall. He's not somebody I want to come here. I mean, I know it may sound good, like in theory, but it may not be very good in actuality. And I'm wondering, like, a big red flag for me with John Wall is he was with the Clippers, and that should have been a sunshiny good place where he stayed, but they didn't even want him there. So in some ways, that's a huge red flag for me about John Wall and where he's at physically right now as a player, that the Clippers didn't even want to hold on to him or saw value in keeping him around. So yeah, as far as Serge, I could probably say the same thing just because of where he's at in his career also. We don't want to spend extra money or get more money on the books or mess us up in the salary cap just to get these aged guys just for names or to have on the team. I mean, it's an interesting idea. I'd be more partial to getting Ibaka back because I know the cost would be less, and I know it would probably be good for vibes, but not John Wall. In fact, I never wanted John Wall on this team since his whole career. I've never, ever thought he was an efficient player in the league. And he's not the kind of player I want on my team because he's high usage and not very efficient. And he's a guy that loses. It's like his whole entire career, he's lost. Has he ever been on a winning team? Has he ever done major things in the NBA? No, he hasn't. And that's because of the way he plays. And I don't want him bogging us down. So, he could be a real headache. He may want minutes. He may want this and stuff like that. Nah, I wouldn't even go near him. But Serge, I would think about. But I don't think anything's going to happen. I think we're pretty set where we're at. Blackhawks saying DeRozan made a dunk from the corner of the free throw line. Yeah, I mean, I just love seeing that all the old highlights of him and like really young DeMar and really young Pascal. So good. Omari's saying, Eric Jacob, don't say that John Wall is not for us. Don't say that John Wall is not for us. Yeah, Omari's echoing what I'm saying. And that there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, listen, I can understand why Eric thinks that is because John Wall is like an all-star and a great player for many years, but I think he's washed at this point. Like, think about he was in Houston and they didn't even play him for a year, and he was healthy because they didn't want to play him over the young guys they were trying to develop, and he just sat there. And so I'm saying there's some weird stuff going on with John Wall, and I've also heard that some of these guys are learning Chinese. If that means anything to you, like Russell Westbrook is learning Chinese right now, just in case. That's what I heard yesterday. That Russell Westbrook is learning Chinese currently, possibly because if things don't work out with the Clippers, that may be where his next stop is. Let's see. Jimmy's saying John Wall ain't it, and time has passed to Ibaka, and I believe we don't have any more roster spots open. This is exactly what I said. Jimmy said it in the comments. Yeah, exactly right. Joseph Stark saying 3-hour countdown. Is anyone else watching the last game too? So excited. Go Raps. Game prediction, Lex. Well, today I feel real good. This is the Pistons. Pistons without Cade Cunningham, they're not the normal team. They've got a lot of problems. They're definitely in the Victor sweepstakes. Coach Casey is such a respectable, like strong person that's of honor, and he's going to try and win. But they're going to be out talented today. I mean, listen, if we start the same starting lineup that we started the last game, we're going to out talent the hell out of them. We're going to bully them. We're going to beat the shit out of them. Like, honestly, I want to rout today. I really, really do. I want to see a nice thick lead for the whole entire game. If we can beat them by 20 by the end of the game, that'll be a message because we need to build off of the very close, narrow win over them the last time we played them just before the break. It can't be close. I don't want it to be like 2 points or within 5 points. I want it to be a double-digit win, if not a double-digit win that's 20 points or more, because I want to make an emphatic statement about the Raptors' dominance and what we can do now with Jakob Poeltl on our team. So that's what I'd like to see, a huge win by us, and it's not even close. I really, in some ways, like this noon game because we were playing a back-to-back. We got to go to Cleveland right after the game and play the Cavs tomorrow at 6 p.m., and it's kind of good having it at noon because it kind of gives us a half day instead of just a 1 day back-to-back. It's like a half day because there's 6 hours from noon to when the game's going to be at 6 tomorrow. So that's an extra 6 hours, and which is good. And then the travel between Detroit and Cleveland is real easy. So that's also really good for this back-to-back we've got to deal with this weekend. So I like a couple of things about that. Even though this game is at noon and it's an unorthodox time to start the game. Let's see. Shir Khan saying, I have a feeling that there's going to be a Kyle and DeMar reunion, either in or out of uniform, even after the hurt feelings of Kawhi trade, maybe close to retirement. We missed that with Vince. Listen, Vince didn't deserve it, but those two guys do. And I already know what they're going to do. Listen, Kyle and DeMar retire. They're going to retire both their jerseys together in our arena, and they will be the first two Raptors numbers retired. If you noticed, since DeMar got traded to San Antonio, nobody has worn number 10. On the down low, the number 10 is retired in Raptors history already. It's just that we haven't officially done it. No one will wear 10 for the Raptors ever again. That is DeMar DeRozan's number, and his number is going to be in the rafters. This is the best way for us to honor him after what he's done for us, because he truly does deserve his jersey retired for us. And it will really give a nod to the sacrifice and the greatness that he brought to our team building up to the first championship, even though he wasn't a part of it. And I would love to see them do it together. Put them both together, number 7 and number 10, go up into the rafters together at the same time. And they need to go up before Vince. I said this all along. Vince Carter does not need to be the first jersey retired for the Raptors. I'm not saying even that he should have his jersey retired by us, but Kyle and DeMar definitely. You'll never see another player wear 7 or 10 in the Raptors jerseys, because those are Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan's numbers. And they should go up together. That's what I'm predicting. I would like to see that happen, Shir Khan. And I think it will. I think it will. Once these guys are done playing, you're going to see it within a year after that. And hopefully they probably retire right around the same time anyway, too. Watch. Let's see. Logical saying, facts, Pope. We're full up. I'm kind of going off what Greg said at the moment. I have to do my own research still. Yeah, we're full. Our roster's full. The money's tight. I think we like what we've got, and we don't need any more like different things happening. Jakob is a huge addition, and the ramifications of Jakob being on our team are still being discovered. And they are huge. They're huge. I'm telling you, we re-sign him this summer. In that contract that he signs this summer, we're going to win a Larry O'Brien. We're going to get our second championship in the next contract that Jakob signs with us. I'm going to predict that right now. Let's see. Blackhawks saying no to John Wall. Nameless is saying John Wall will destroy team chemistry. Yeah, I can get behind all this. MSJ saying John Wall will want minutes and his odd track record is weird. Yeah, all good reasons. Greg is saying, as I say in the video, Mike, I just did quick and superficial math to arrive at roughly 58 million under next year's 162 million luxury threshold with Fred and Gary and Yak to sign. That's why I suggest we may be entering the luxury era. Yeah, 58 million for those three guys. Well, let's do the math. That's not enough for 20 million each, and we know Fred's going to get a chunk that's closer to 30 than 20. And yeah, you got trying to cut that pie up for those guys. It may seem like they're maybe be needing more money, and we may be going into luxury tax. I'm totally for it. You got to spend money to make money, Larry Tannenbaum. You want that second Larry O'Brien? Spend some money and get it, and then you will enrich yourself by increasing the value of your franchise, and also you'll make more money in the long run. Winning makes more money. You can ask Dr. Jerry Buss from the 80s. His team was in trouble. Well, they won that championship with a rookie, Magic Johnson, and then boom, everything started being all right financially. And that's what I'm saying. You keep winning, you got to pay to win, though, a little bit. That's what I'm saying, Larry. So don't be afraid to open that pocketbook and get into luxury tax. I mean, he's already said he's not afraid to do that, so we fully expect it. Let's see. Fiercely saying Cavs and Nets were destroyed yesterday. Yeah, Cavaliers. Listen, woo. And that whole thing with Miami with Kevin Love, what the hell was going on with that? The NBA is really weird right now, and I'm just glad we're on the upswing, because there's going to be a lot of weird, flaky shit going on with different teams around the league, and some of them are going to get really bad soon. Watch. Mike saying, Greg was right, and I was right, believe. It's for one player, $3 million, and it had to be the remainder deal. So like half a season and through the summer, he has the $3 million again, but it expires early. I think they can use it this summer. The Otto Porter $3 million exception from his injury, that I think they can very much use it in their cap this summer. So let's see. Cool Cat saying, remember, Scottie took his friends to Montreal to celebrate their birthday. He showed us clips at a Caribbean event dancing shirtless. He loves it here. Yeah, he does. When we talk to him on Twitch, There's nothing like we told him, it's like, dude, you're the king of this city, bro. You can do whatever you want in Toronto. It's like you get such a cool, futuristic, progressive, fun city in this world, and you basically have like the key to it, just like the mayor, the city key, Scottie Barnes. You can do whatever you want. You're like the king of this city, bro. And he's got to love that in a way because Toronto is such a cool place. Listen, as a Florida kid myself, Toronto's very different than Florida. And in some ways, it's got a real novelty to it and a real like kind of specialness because there's a premium kind of quality to Toronto in certain ways, especially if you're at that lifestyle of an NBA player. And there's some things about it that are just like you'll never forget, and you'll be like, it's kind of like Drake lifestyle. Seriously, it's like OVO premium kind of light nightlife and everything that you're doing. And the city has the best restaurants and has all kinds of different stuff to offer. And if you're at that very high level where you can go and enjoy it and really kind of like those kind of ways, this city is badass. So yeah, of course, Scottie has a very genuine love for the city of Toronto and by overall Canada also, because he did enjoy going out west to Victoria for training camp and going to Montreal for that event that you mentioned, and also the game they played in Montreal in the preseason. Yeah, he's really like just a positive, good kid, man. And I just really love the open gym gives us more visions of him behind the scenes and what he's all about. Blackhawks saying, great time for today's game. I get to go roller skating later. Games should be like this every weekend. It's just weird for body rhythm. Like these players' bodies are conditioned for a certain time of the day to play. And this is always a weird thing they do to us in the playoffs. They'll give us the noon game on Saturday, the first day of the playoffs against the Nets or something. I used to always hate that. There's a lot of trauma with a 12 p.m. start for Raptors Nation. Trust me, from history in the playoffs. So we're very like suspicious of weird times of the day starting the game. And today is definitely one of those days. I know when I looked at the schedule at the beginning of the season, when it came out, this is one of the games I was like, this is sus. Why are we playing in Detroit at noon? Well, I realize now in some ways it's a benefit because of how close this Cleveland game is tomorrow. And I was like, well, I can understand playing early on the Super Bowl Sunday, but what's going on Saturday? Is there some sort of game going on in the arena for like the Red Wings tonight? Maybe they have to convert the game. They're playing the Pistons, and then later tonight the Red Wings are playing or something. I don't know. I don't know the NHL schedule, so I couldn't tell you that. But that's very interesting. Reasoning why there's an afternoon game today in Detroit. Is it also because we come in and infiltrate their building? They don't want us to come there. It's like, let's make the game early so the Canadians can't get across the border in time. See, I have a lot of questions about why this game is at noon today. Let's see. Omari's saying that would be amazing if they retire them both at the same time. I think they will. It just makes so much sense. And even if MLSE, if you hadn't thought about this and you hear me say this, well, that's a good plan. I'll bet you they will. They probably have this already planned out. Like I said, nobody's wearing 10. Nobody's worn 10 since DeMar got traded. And that's what, like 4.5 years ago? Somebody would have worn 10 by then if that number was available. It's not. It's not. You've not seen anybody wear 10 since DeMar left. Monica's saying, sit the starters if we have a bigger lead, if you know what I mean. Am I right? I love this. That's another reason why we want to get a good double-digit lead today is let's get some run for Jeffrey and Malachi and Wancho and Thaddeus and the end of the bench and get some rest for our guys, especially on the first day of a back-to-back. Get those guys out there, beat the shit out of the Pistons and get them out and play the bench a lot so our guys even more rested for Cleveland tomorrow. I really like that. Let's see. Nameless is saying DeMar wasn't a part of the championship, but he was a part of the championship. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, even though that doesn't totally make sense. I know exactly what you mean, Nameless. When you say that DeMar wasn't a part of the championship, but he was a part of the championship. Yep, we know. The real ones know. The Raptor fans really do know. Greg saying Quin Snyder, rumored to go to the Hawks, could be huge for them. He better hire a clutch defensive coordinator. Laugh out loud. I'm glad in some ways that they're going to go and get Quin Snyder. I'm hearing $8 million a year. It's a weird fit. He's kind of like, when they're negotiations, you can tell he's kind of like a little like hesitant. Like he's kind of got maybe a little bit of things he's worried about, obviously, with what's happened with the coaches before. I don't know. They really have had some in-depth discussions, the front office, Landry Fields and Quin Snyder, about what the Hawks want to do in their direction. And, it does sound like he's coming. In some ways, I like this Because listen, one of the biggest candidates they should have been talking about was getting junior and senior together, AJ Griffin and Adrian Griffin. And I'm glad they're not coming after Dr. Griffin, our assistant coach on the Raptors, because in some ways he makes a lot of sense to be the new Atlanta Hawks coach. But in some ways, maybe they don't want to have a father and son combo on an NBA team. Speaking of AJ, there's a part in Open Gym where Scottie gets on the elevator and AJ's in the elevator with him. And this is what Scottie says. And this is how you can tell he's such a real one. He really does have that red Raptor blood running through his veins, because he gets on the elevator and he's like, this is the guy who beat us at the last second, and I have to ride in the elevator with him. That's what Scottie said to AJ Griffin when he got on the elevator with him at Utah at the All-Star break. Oh man, like seriously, that's how he views him. He doesn't view him as like, this is the son of one of our coaches. He doesn't view him, this is AJ Griffin, a guy who plays in the NBA. No, this is the enemy who beat us at the last second in Atlanta in a game earlier this season, and I have to ride in the elevator with him. Scottie's a real one. He is such a real one to say that on Open Gym. And AJ's just kind of like smiling a little bit. Yeah, you did beat us. You beat us at the last second, you motherfucker. So good. So good. I love that part. It's so good. Let's see. Mike's saying, I talk on the options more today. I show how it works with the final tweaks from pencil to pen. That Thad's 7 million, Flynn's 3.8 mil. Pumps the number up to 68. So with adjusting, we have to enough to sign Mins. Okay, I don't totally understand that, Mike, but we'll be looking forward to your drop today at 2:30 on this subject on Logical Raptors Fanatics YouTube channel. Check it out. KG's here. Good to see KG. Today's game brings me back to those 12:30 starts. Yeah, there's a little bit of trauma. Seriously, it's always sucks when you have a noon game and you lose, because it's like the rest of your day is ruined. But I don't want us to lose, and I don't predict it today. Really, seriously. Keys of victory: out rebound them, out hustle them, just out Raptor them, and just kick their ass, Raptors. We really should kick their ass. We're the new Raptors with Yak. This is the Pistons are still struggling. They're very shitty. We need to just kick the shit out of them. We really do. Click saying it could be that there's a concert. That could be it too. Could be that there's a concert in Little Caesars Arena tonight. I don't know. I could just look it up and find out, but I don't care. Let's see. Joseph Starks is saying, think with me, Lex. We signed Poeltl. We have year 2 Koloko. So during next year's draft, we only have one pick, no second rounder, projected mid-first. Who do you pick, a big man or a scorer? I want a scorer. You know, in some ways, we got a good big man project with Koloko coming up, and Jakob is going to get signed this summer, and he'll be our center for the near future, at least for, I would hope, 4 years, maybe. I don't know what the contract will be exactly, but I don't know. I want, once again, we probably want to draft the best possible player at that position, and you know, just see what Bobby and Masai with their jams of uncovering late draft or really good value at wherever they're picking, like Koloko was in the second round. So, I mean, once again, this is just one of those things where you trust in Masai. And honestly, there's so much time before that. It's like I can't get too ahead. It really is. I take it minute by minute. It's Detroit today. We got a game at noon in about 90 minutes. Let's see. Daddy Gates is saying, I just saw the Open Gym. That comment by Fred was not a good look for him, particularly with all the criticism he has been facing from some folks around here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't want to feed this fire right now, Fred, especially since you're not playing this weekend. And, you know, you're kind of like, you know, people are really coming after you. You just gave them a big, huge piece of Yule log to fuel their fire with that dumb comment in some ways. I mean, it is true. They want to get the bags for the guys as far as what they celebrate. And it is true, but it's just not good timing with what's happening. Nameless is saying, there's 50 people in the building. Go ahead, drop a few likes. I appreciate that, Nameless. Bonjour. No. Monique is saying, remember when we had the 1 p.m. start way back, playback? Any of this stuff, seriously, like around like 2013, 14, 15, these noon starts in the playoffs were not fun. They were not fun at all, because our guys seem to come out real flat because they're not used to it. Well, these dudes were interesting yesterday. Obviously, Detroit's not a far trip. They had practice yesterday during the day, and they get on a plane and they go in the afternoon, and then it's not that far. I think it's like, what, 20-minute, half an hour flight, if that. It's maybe even less, like 10 minutes. You just fly down to Detroit, get off the plane, and then they're hanging out in their hotel in Detroit for the night. And then boom, you got to get up right away and cram all your pregame into a really short time. I know because I was trying to do everything I normally do before the game, like work out before I even did the stream. So it's like you're trying to do a lot of pregame, like get ready fast to make it by noon. And that's sometimes what the problem is, that is it's not comfortable. It's not like you ease into it and do it relaxed. You kind of got to hurry up, get it ready, get it done, because you got to be down there and get taped and do all the game stuff that you need to do for stretching and massages and stuff. So yeah, that's the thing. It's an earlier day, and it'll be interesting. We'll see how it works with them. Hopefully they come out and they have a really strong start and they look energetic and not flat, and they're making their shots. The last game they were flat just because it was the first game back from the All-Star game. But this day could be flat today just because of the early start. I hope it's not true, though. Mike's saying, so ultimately it's Thad, Bo Cruz, and or Flynn, Otto to get under luxury tax. The replacements are Dowtin and first pick, plus keeping Joe and Banton. If 3 guys go, we could see them maybe pick up a rehab guy. Okay. Well, let's just see what they do. And obviously it's not going to be anything major moves with what they got with the salary cap and stuff. Fiercely saying, I was at the Caribbean event in which Scottie attended last summer in Montreal. Him and his entourage were at a special and restricted spot. Didn't get to see him, but so glad he appreciates Canada. That's very cool. So Fiercely was at that party, and I saw a little bit of that party. It looked fun, like pools. People were in swimsuits. There's music playing. There's sunshine, and the vibes were real strong. There were a lot of people there. I don't even know what that event was called, but I know Scottie really, really enjoyed it. Like on Twitch, he talked about it and like just really glowing things to say about Montreal from last summer and that weekend that he went there. And it was so funny because it was kind of like I remember when he was talking about going, he's like, he was talking to his friends. He's like, dude, we should go to Montreal this weekend. He's like, yeah, let's get it together and figure it out. Is the manager guy that he talks to on there. And they're like, they got it together and then they went and he had a blast. So it was awesome. MSJ saying the Lowry DeRozan time were the best. Very enjoyable team to watch. Didn't win it all, but that combo was the best. And Fred VanVleet, money is king for him. So don't go getting all emotional on him. Laugh out loud. Well, happy birthday, Fred. Seriously, it's Fred's birthday today. And hopefully his third child came healthy and everything's okay. And they're just having a nice time being with the new family unit of the third child being there. So, and it's a back-to-back, as I said. So he's probably taking this game off because he's probably going to take one of these 2 games off anyway. So why not get a little extra time on his birthday with the family and come back and play tomorrow? If he's not playing tomorrow, I'm going to be a little bit like, what the fuck, Fred? You don't need this much time off. Seriously. Maybe 2 games off is pushing it even. Like some people would say only 1 game off is good, but I understand because the nature of the back-to-back, it makes sense for you to rest this game. So let's see. Blackhawk saying, well, we better get used to it because we can be 500 by tomorrow. That's right. Let's get back up there and get above in the winning ways and get back over 500. That's a symbol of making it further and making it in the playoffs. You get a 500 and you are over 500. Usually you're in the playoffs. And that's what we want to do. Shir Khan saying, I'm still thinking this one is going to be another home game, even with the weather. Love the Toronto fans down there, loud and proud. Well, we'll know. We'll know right away. We'll hear them chanting and we'll hear them yelling defense and we'll taking over that building. I love it. Go ahead. The Pistons fans got to be apathetic. They're losing a lot. How many of these guys are coming down there? The Pistons freak is like having a hard time. They're maybe not coming to the arena. So it's probably pretty easy for us to buy tickets and get in there because it's not the most attractive ticket in Detroit with how much they've been losing. Greg saying, I know we don't need a big man, but mid-range is easy buckets these days. I keep going back to Bryce Sensabaugh from Ohio. He fits our dribble drive ISO stuff. Plenty of A-plus shooters where we are picking, though. Okay, this is good. Already an early scout on the draft and what may be around in the crop around where we're drafting. Of course, this is way ahead for me. I'm very am a now guy. I'm not in the past. I'm not in the future. I'm very much in the present. And we got a Raptors game against the Pistons at 12 o'clock. Space Cadet saying Fred should name his new child Robert. Space Cadet. Space Cadet. Yes. Yes. You know what? Listen, I talked about this before. I think that's going to be the official first score. I'm going to get a notepad right now, and we're going to start keeping score of like dunks. We're going to call these dunks. And that was a dunk right there. That is very much a dunk. And Space Cadet, you're going to get the official first points of a comment that is so just badass that you're going to get the first points. We're going to say Raptor Freak dunks and Space Cadets on the board with the first basket because that was just too good. That's too good. If you don't know the joke, I'm not going to tell it to you. Most people here will know what that joke means. So Raptor Freak dunks. Boom, first on the board, Space Cadet. You got it, buddy. You got it. There you go. That had to get recognized. I'm sorry. That is just historic right there. Yeah, laugh it up. W Space Cadet. W Space Cadet, everybody in the stream. And just laugh it up. It's amazing. What a great comment. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Bobby Van Vliet. Bobby P. Van Vliet. P. Okay, so we're putting the middle name in too. Ooh, MSJ. Yikes. All right, let me see. Maybe I will get out of here early just because it's only an hour. And it's been an hour I've been here about. And, I want to get some time before the game, I guess. All right, so let's just do a real quick review. The injuries are such. It's Fred's birthday. He's still with the baby. He's not in Detroit, so he will not be playing today. So I expect the same lineup of Scottie, Gary, OG, Pascal, and Jakob starting. And that's, of course, great because we got Scottie playing point for most of that. And I just really like the look. So it'll be interesting to see him like guarding somebody like Jaden Ivey. That he may be too quick for Scottie. And we may have to see some Jeff Dowtin Jr. just for Jaden Ivey and Corey Joseph, stuff like that. So we'll have to see. Monique saying Patrice Roberts, whose performance at halftime said her favorite place is Toronto. She will be back calling it now. All right, cool. Yeah, that was a big deal. Everybody's talking about it like Paul Jones and Sherman Hamilton were talking about the gravity of having her at our halftime the other night was a big deal. People don't understand how big she is in her area of music and worldwide. And that, people from the islands heard that she was singing at our halftime and they're like, wow, you got a huge act. She's amazing. That's what Paul Jones and Sherman Hamilton were saying on Raptors Today with Akil Augustine, that they told their auntie or something like, wow, you got her for halftime? Holy crap. That's amazing. Let's see. Mike's saying, so the roster would be core. Okay, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and keep going with this. The injuries for Detroit are Jalen Duren, Nerlens Noel, Marvin Bagley III, and Cade Cunningham. Now, Ron Harper Jr. and Delano Bant are with the 905 to play against the Motor City team today at 7 o'clock. So, and then there's a bunch of moves. The 905 team has changed a lot just in the last 24 hours. Reggie Perry got traded to the Windy City Bulls. And we've got some new players coming in. I have no idea much about any of them or if they're even showing up. We'll just have to see later tonight around 7 when the Raptors play Motor City, Raptors 905. Our referees for today for the 905 are Tyler Ricks, Hortensia Sanchez Carzales, Ian McClenny. And for the Raptors against the Pistons at noon, Sean Wright is our crew chief. JB DeRosa and John Butler are the 3 referees. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. What a great open gym last night. Seriously, y'all watch that open gym. If you are a real one like me and you see that DeMar stuff, you may get a little emotional because you can feel the pain in him in that episode of like his relationship with the Raptors and his history and that he loves open gym. I thought it was so cool that DeMar DeRozan said that he still watches open gym and it's one of his favorite shows. It totally makes sense. He can keep a track on his buddies, his little brothers, Fred and OG and Pascal and Chris and all those guys. Really, really good. Greg saying RJ Nembhard used to be with Cleveland. Is he related to Andrew? Is he Canadian? Is he one of these Nembhards from Mississauga? I don't know. I don't know for sure. I should know that probably. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here with me this morning for a preview for today's game. Hopefully we can kick some ass at noon and kick some ass in Cleveland tomorrow. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, and share if you enjoy my stuff. And I'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 with a reaction to both of the games the Raptors are playing today, 9:05 and Raptors versus Pistons at noon. We got to beat Casey and keep the trend alive that one team sweeps the other every year. And this is our year to sweep Detroit. And hopefully we can sweep them again next year also. So let's see. Fiercely saying that event was called Sunset Vibes. and it featured DJ Oso City. Cool. Win, win, win. Winning, 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 winning. Winning all around. All right, guys. Let's go Raptors. Let's beat those Pistons. No more Casey's revenge. The Raptors are winning it now. No more Casey's revenge. We're going to win this today. Let's get this one, Raptors. Yak is back, baby. And that means we're back to W's all over the place. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions, 2023. Let's go get it. We can do this. There's no time left. There's time still left. We can still make this happen, Raptors. We can be something more than anybody else thinks we are. We can surprise them and energize them. And Brian Winders did his little, the Raptors, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round, is what he was saying yesterday, because he realizes, he knows what Jakob Poeltl is doing to us, because he is in the air with his fingers and always wondering and figuring things out. And that's what Brian Winders is saying yesterday. Oh, I wouldn't want to play the Raptors in the playoffs. No, I wouldn't, is what Brian said. Woo-hoo-hoo, let's go!